Gladiators and Depravity, the dark truth of the Roman emperors. Bizarre testimonies about the most depraved Roman emperors, the man who led Rome disguised as a prostitute. Stepping into the dark depths of history, we turn our attention to an era shrouded in mystery and fascination, the time of the Roman emperors, whose lives were marked not only by luxury and opulence, but also by acts of incomprehensible depravity. We invite you to discover bizarre testimonies about the most controversial leaders of ancient Rome, figures who drew with blood and debauchery the contours of an unforgettable era. In this documentary, we will dive into the secrets of their extravagant lives, exploring the limits of humanity and morality. But who were these emperors, and what incredible stories have they left us as a legacy? Imagine yourself traveling back in time, walking the streets of ancient Rome, echoing the echoes of glory and decadence. We first meet the figure of the gladiator emperor, Lucius Aurelius Commodus, whose thirst for blood propels him into the arena, killing wild animals and humans alike. Rumor has it that he was believed to be the reincarnation of Hercules. But how true are these stories? And how did his passion for fighting come to bring him to an end? Further, we discover the mystery shrouded in the deeds of Heliogabalus, the young emperor who violated all boundaries of decency. In search of pleasure, she disguises herself and enters the underworld of Rome, selling her body as a prostitute. But what drives him down this path, and how does his tumultuous reign end? We cannot help but wonder about Domitian, a ruler whose name is synonymous with cruelty. The persecutions, the shows of extreme violence, and his obsession with control reveal a complex character, tortured by paranoia and thirst for power. But what lies behind this dark portrait? Finally, our journey takes us to the realm of Tiberius' secrets, hidden in the island of Capri. Withdrawn from the world, the emperor orchestrates unimaginable orgies, creating a universe of depravity surrounded by mystery. But what is the truth behind the rumors, and how did this lifestyle influence the history of Rome? Each story opens a new chapter in understanding human complexity, power, and corruption. What lessons can we learn from these testimonies of the past? How are these narratives reflected in contemporary society? We invite you to explore these questions and more on a journey that will leave no one indifferent. This documentary promises not only to reveal historical facts, but also to challenge you to reflect on human nature and the endless cycle of power and decay. Dare to open this gateway to the past and discover the hidden truths of a world that has disappeared, but which still fascinates and teaches us. Are you ready to start this amazing journey? Several emperors of ancient Rome remained in history through their detestable deeds, marked by bloodlust and debauchery. Countless accounts of ancient authors painted the life of the Roman emperors in gloomy colors. Here are some of the strange testimonies. The gladiator emperor who kills animals and people for fun. Lucius Aurelius Commodus lived between the years 161 to 192 AD. He was among the hated emperors of Rome. He was fond of gladiator fights and wild animal fights and often entered the arena to kill. He was believed to be the incarnation of the legendary Hercules and the god Mercury, according to ancient historians. Many times he killed a large number of people and animals in front of the public. Alone, with his hands, he slaughtered 5 hippopotamuses and 2 elephants in 2 successive days. He also killed rhinoceroses, tigers, and leopards, wrote the Latin historian Dio Cassius. The same author reported that the emperor had killed in one day 100 bears brought to the arena. The animals were divided into 4 groups, driven in front of the place where Commodus was, who was shooting at them with the bow. A gladiator brought him death in the fall of 192 during the performances. Initially, poison was put in his food, but the fact that he drank a lot of wine and spent a lot of time in the baths, the amount of poison administered was not fatal. He threw up the poisoned food. Shortly after, however, an athlete named Narcissus strangled him while he was bathing, wrote Dio Cassius. Heliogabalus, the prostitute king. Heliogabalus lived between the years 203 to 212 and ascended the throne at the age of 14, and historians claim that soon after he indulged in the most sordid fantasies and desires. He believed himself to be a god and established his own cult, Sol Invictus, forcing his subjects to worship him. He also organized sacrifices of coops brought from all over the peninsula. He had taken several wives, including a priestess of the goddess Vesta, but he had a strange passion. She disguised herself and prostituted herself with men in Rome's brothels, wearing women's clothes and applying makeup. He used to use his body to do and permit many strange things, which no one could bear to say or hear. But the impossible to hide are the following. She went to taverns at night, wearing a wig, and here she sold her body as a prostitute. He often frequented the brothels, where he kicked out the prostitutes to take their place. Finally, he set up a room in the palace where he committed the indecencies, always standing naked in the doorway, while in a soft voice he called his courtiers. There were, of course, many people who were trained to play the part of lovers, wrote Dio Cassius. He would have confessed to the chief of his guards that he wanted to be castrated and asked him which was the most painful method, cutting, crushing, or burning the sexual organ on hot coals, the ancient historians added. Heliogabalus died beheaded, at the age of 18, by his soldiers, and his name was erased from the registers of Rome. How cruel Domitian was! Domitian, the Roman emperor defeated by Decebalus, ruled the empire at the end of the 1st century AD and was accused of mass persecution of Christians and Jews. He was also accused of having executed numerous politicians and prominent people of Rome. His savage cruelty was not only excessive, but also cunning and brutal. He invited his subjects to his bedrooms before crucifying them, sat them next to him, shared his dinner with them, and had homosexual relations with them, the historian Suetonius described him. Other authors claim that Domitian demanded that people worship him as Dominus et Deus, Lord and Savior. He frequently gave magnificent and expensive shows in the amphitheaters and circuses of Rome. He was excessively depraved. He called his sexual relations fights in bed and considered them exercises. He depilated his concubines with his own hands and turned to common prostitutes, wrote Suetonius. Through his games, in which gladiators and wild animals were brought to fight, some ending in massacres, he tried to attract his popularity among the people. Domitian ended up stabbed following a plot at the palace. The astrologers had warned him that he would be the target of an attack and, waiting for his fatal moment, he became more and more worried. His palace was equipped with shining floors to be able to see the reflection of those who would have tried to approach him with thoughts of death. The Romans looked at his death with indifference. Debauchery on the Isle of Capri. Tiberius reigned at the beginning of the 1st century and remained in history as an emperor dedicated to a luxurious life and less to the rule of Rome. Retiring to the island of Capri, he indulged in the pleasures of secret orgies. Teams of perverts of both sexes, selected as experts in deviant sex and perversions, had sex in front of him in groups to set him off. His rooms were furnished with the most lascivious paintings and sculptures, as well as an erotic library, in case any guest needed an illustration of what was being asked of him. Then, in the forests and orchards of Capri, he arranged many corners of worship where boys and girls disguised themselves as Panis and nymphs and performed services. People openly called this place Old Goat Island. He gained a reputation for gross depravity that anyone would find it hard to talk about or believe. For example, he trained small children, whom he called fish, to crawl in front of his thighs while he swam and indulged in perversions. He did the same with unweaned children, asserted the historian Suetonius. As the curtain falls on this riveting documentary about Rome's most controversial emperors, we may wonder what these stories reveal about the essence of power and corruption. We have explored the depths of the human soul, where the desire for domination and the pursuit of boundless pleasure meet. We have traveled through time to reveal facets of humanity that continue to amaze and challenge us. But as we know, the story does not end here. The ancient world is full of mystery and waiting to be explored, offering valuable lessons about how the past shapes our present and future. There are countless stories waiting to be discovered, each with its heroes and anti-heroes, the battles and passions that have shaped the course of history. We invite you to stay with us, because each documentary we offer opens a new window into the past, providing a unique opportunity to learn from humanity's mistakes and triumphs. In future documentaries, we will venture down uncharted paths, from the rise and fall of great civilizations to world-changing innovations and untold stories of heroism and sacrifice. Each episode is an opportunity to enrich your knowledge and stimulate your curiosity. We want to create a community of passionate and curious viewers who come back for more to discover the mysteries of history together. We are committed to providing you with content that not only informs, but also inspires, provokes thought, and opens dialogues. By exploring the past, we can better understand the present and prepare for the future. So, we urge you not to let your curiosity die. Dare to question, explore, and discover. Because every story we share is an invitation to travel beyond conventional knowledge, to defy the limits of our understanding, and to embrace the wonder of discovery. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey through history. May these stories stay with you and inspire you to always seek the truth, explore together the mysteries of the past, and wonder about the possibilities of the future. Until our next adventure, we invite you to ponder the lessons learned and keep the flame of curiosity burning. Remember, history is our shared story, and each of us has a role in writing it. We look forward to seeing you again, sharing more stories waiting to be told. Until then, keep an open mind and always stay curious. Together, we will continue to explore the depths of history, revealing the secrets that await us to discover. Thank you for choosing to travel with us, and we look forward to our next exciting explorations. Until next time, keep the flame of exploration alive and never stop asking yourself, what stories will history reveal to us next?